Now, let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Jasmine Price Lords, and let's queer up the USA view. GLAAD finds many Americans would avoid brands with Pride merch. NYC Pride loss of $750,000 proves it. A new poll released just before Pride Month reveals a troubling trend. Nearly twice as many Americans say they'd avoid shopping at brands that sell Pride merchandise as they'd be more likely to support them. The GLAAD commissioned poll, conducted by Ipsos, asked Americans how queer Pride collections affected their shopping habits. Only 15% said Pride merch would make them more likely to buy from a brand, but 27%, almost double, said they'd be less likely to shop there. The majority, 55%, said it wouldn't affect their decisions. Among Black non-Hispanic respondents, only 8% said they'd be more likely to buy from a brand with a Pride gear, and 11% said they'd be less likely. 77% said it made no difference. Hispanic respondents were more supportive, with 19% saying it would positively influence their decision. When asked if it would be a shame if brands stopped supporting Pride, more Americans disagreed. 48% then agreed at 46%. However, these statistics are not surprising for many in the community, and what happened with NYC Pride proves it. NYC Pride just announced a $750,000 budget shortfall for 2025. Organizers say it's directly tied to corporate sponsors scaling back or backing out entirely. NYC Pride co-chairs Kaz Alexander and Michelle Mira said that the organization has reached just 75% of its 2025 fundraising goal. The 25% gap, they said, jeopardizes not just the number of floats, vendors, and performers at this year's event, but also the organization's grant programs. That is just terrible. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us aren't surprised as we're seeing what's happening here.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what this administration has been trying to do, trying to block us from showing up and showing out. And what little footing we've made, they're trying to find a way for us to lose it. And I think this is an example of a slippery slope.
Although those numbers, 55%, 77%, those were good numbers. And those 27%, they can go fuck themselves.
Well, but it's not surprising. And I mean, life is high school, you know?
Yeah.
The mean kids get in charge, and suddenly anybody who's borderline mean and could get away with it suddenly is out to be mean. Right. But then if the good guys get in, fun kids get involved, well, then everyone's out for a good time. This is no different than high school. But unfortunately, it's life-changing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, and I mean this sincerely, with as much wealth as the LGBT community has, and I'm not saying everyone is wealthy.
Right.
I'm just saying that there are certain brands and certain actors and musicians and whatever. Mm-hmm. Literally, it's not the end of the world for them to just pony up just a little bit. But at the same time, the community at large, rich and poor, we need to get our ass together. We need to mobilize. We need to get involved in politics and city.
Absolutely.
And city ethics. And I mean, we need to be more involved.
No,
and
it's the New York
City. Get over this shit.
Mm-hmm, I agree with you, buddy. And the New York City Pride Parade was one of the first great experiences I had outside of New York, New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And, I even helped build Pride, that my indoctrination into doing some volunteer work was helping build some of the parade floats that appeared on, the avenues in New York. So I have faith in what you said, that there'll be some actors that are going to rise to the occasion. They don't necessarily need to be corporate sponsors.
No. Do it privately. Do it so that nobody knows, and we just have a sense of relief. But it's not just, it's not just the party of pride. It's the organizations that suffer. I mean, I'm from St. Louis. St. Louis Pride has lost, I think, $150,000 this year that they're short. Mm-hmm. And it's going to hit every major city. And it's not just the celebration and the pride and the fun and the drinks and the parade. It's the organizations and the money that we raise that survives throughout the year.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what's important.
And I think also another thing, the things about the number of the stores, that their corporate sponsors and stuff, Target is finding out right now with all their DEI stuff, how quickly they are dropping in sales all of the stuff that has been happening with them and their brand. is going to continue. We're awake. We have access to information. TikTok and Instagram is allowing us to share these stories very quickly. And that's why it's important for like this, for us to be able to communicate and give this information and make sure that our community is aware. Because if you're not, you're very easily going to go and support Target, who is literally standing against you.
Yeah, turning their back on us.
And I keep interrupting and dominating this conversation. I
No.
apologize, but corporate America, I don't care if you have a stupid ass T-shirt in rainbow colors. Just don't cut the program dollars. Don't cut the nonprofit dollars. Keep all the glitter and all the shoes and the light up crap and whatever.
Right.
I don't care about that in the store.
no.
But don't stop
You're
supporting the nonprofits, the teen programs, the health programs. It's just too important. This is about people's lives, not about selling a T-shirt.
Amen. Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.